The meeting is now reconvened to open session. The board would like to remind the public that this meeting is being audio and video recorded and is also available via live stream. The live stream link can be found on the front page of the RUSD website. Trustee Hepp, will you please report out action taken in closed session?
There was no action taken in closed session tonight.
Thank you. Tonight we have Lucas. We're so glad to have you back from Whitney High School as our student board representative. Lucas, will you please introduce the color guard and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentations of the colors by the Rocklin Unified School District's Junior ROTC Color Guard and the Pledge of Allegiance. The commander and the U.S. flag bearer for this evening's color guard is Cadet Captain Sophia Burkhalter. The state flag is carried by Cadet Master Sergeant Wyatt Gilmore. The right guard is Cadet Master Sergeant Isaiah Brazuela. The left guard is Cadet Airman Basic Alexandria Kane.
Thank you, Color Guard. We appreciate the respectful way that they handle our flag every meeting and are so grateful for them. We'll now move to our special recognition and presentations portion of our meeting. Chief Dosage, will you please introduce our family partners in education recognition tonight?
Good evening, President Price, trustees, and Superintendent Stock. The Family Partners in Education program is an opportunity for the Rocklin Unified School District to acknowledge and appreciate family engagement and involvement, thereby supporting our students in achieving excellence throughout the school year. Twin Oaks Elementary School Principal Jamie Iverson is introducing the James family for tonight's Family Partners in Education recognition.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, President Price, and Superintendent Stock. Tonight, Twin Oaks Elementary is thrilled to recognize Katie James as our family partner in education. Katie is the kind of person that every school dreams of having. She is dedicated, creative, and always ready to jump in and make things better for kids, families, and staff alike. She doesn't just volunteer, she has a great sense of humor and leads with heart. As a key member of our parent-teacher club and PBIS team's parent representative, Katie helps bridge the connection between families and staff, making sure every voice is heard and every idea counts. Her leadership in coordinating school sponsorships have built strong community relationships that directly benefit our students. And when it comes to our annual fun run, Katie's magic really shines. Her energy and organization have turned it into one of our most anticipated events of the year. Last year, when the rain decided to crash the party, Katie didn't miss a beat. She transformed the fun run into an indoor dance party. With her quick thinking and positivity, students had an absolute blast dancing, laughing, and making memories. Katie also serves as one of our Twin Oaks art docents, leading parents in bringing creative art lessons right into our classrooms. She was actually talking tonight about finding the appropriate clown to show kids at school in first grade. She helps ensure every student gets a chance to explore their artistic side and experience the joy of self-expression. No matter what's happening on campus, Katie is there, ready to lend a hand, take on a task, maybe clean out the PTC shed once in a while, or cheer others on, all while balancing her most important role of being a mom to Griffin and Jake. Katie, your passion and commitment have truly left a mark on our school. On behalf of Twin Oaks Elementary, we want to thank you for sharing your time, your heart, your family, your husband's talents, and your leadership with our community. More of a honey-do list on him. Twin Oaks is a better place because of the James family, and tonight we celebrate you.
Yes, you got to come up and get an award. It's super fancy. Katie, on behalf of the board, we just want to say thank you. It is absolutely incredible when we see parents, families work together to support some of the incredible work on campuses. I mean, hearing the fun run and your creativity, I have to say, over the years, anytime I have a free gap on the nights when we come back to our campuses, if I'm not with my children at their schools, I love to go to Twin Oaks because I love to see the above and beyond things that you guys are doing on your campus to engage students and parents. And so we just wanted to say on behalf of the board how much we appreciate you, the entire family, and the incredible contributions not only you, but your spouse and your children give to Twin Oaks. Thank you very much. And not only do we have a fancy certificate for you, we also have something for the family. So we have a couple things. One, I have a couple canned Smarties left, if that's okay, because we know that Rocklin Unified is helping. You're already a bunch of Smarties, but you're welcome to grab one out of my little jar. And then we also have a special thank you gift in here. Who wants to open it? Mom gets to decide. Okay, come on up. While he opens, let's give a round of applause to the entire James family. You come get in. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Oh, I see. I love it. I did not. I'm adding them. Oh, oh.
Thank you so much. Chief Dosanjh, will you please introduce our employee recognition tonight?
President Price, trustees, and Superintendent Stock. Tonight for our employee recognition, the Rocklin Alternative Education Center Principal Scott Hutton will join us in introducing John Del Favreau.
Good evening, President Price, trustees, Superintendent Stock. I always enjoy these opportunities, and tonight is absolutely no different. Tonight it is my pleasure, on behalf of all of us at the Rocklin Alternative Education Center, to not only commemorate, recognize, and I'll say even honor my friend and colleague here, John Del Favreau. He is the Rocklin Alternative Education teacher. He's been with us for many, many years. You had the opportunity just not too long ago to hear it for 20 years. It's amazing. But I will say this, for more than a career, really it's been a lifetime for this man. John has poured his knowledge, passion, energy into educating and inspiring students who absolutely needed him the most. John understands that education is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor. And in fact, he has dedicated himself to meeting each student where they are, recognizing their unique strengths, and nurturing their potential with both compassion and care. As I said, for the past 20 years, and I know that's a long time, holy buckets, he has maintained an educational setting for the students at Rocklin Alternative Education that was more than a place of learning. It was really a place of belonging. For countless students who have struggled in traditional settings, he provided not only academic instruction, but also encouragement, patience, and the unwavering belief in their abilities. He knows that success in life is measured not simply by grades, but by growth, resilience, and the courage to try again. Through his steady guidance, John has helped so many students, including my son and daughter, which I'm very proud of, help them realize their potential. And much like his absolute hero, Captain Kirk, John has never been afraid to boldly go where no one has gone before, in the name of student success. His impact extends far beyond the lessons of textbooks. John always modeled empathy, respect, and perseverance in ways that shaped not only his students, but also his colleagues and friends, fortunate enough to work alongside him. His wisdom, humility, and great humor created a supportive community where both students and staff felt valued. He showed us all of us, that more than anything in education, it's all about human connection. One of his colleagues shared with me that John cares about his students and works to care for their individual needs. He's a great coworker, always willing to help, talk, or answer questions. He loves math, and he loves students, and he teaches them to love math. And Tori was telling me that every year she has students that tell her that they never once thought that math would be their favorite class. But year, after meeting with John, they say the same thing. As John looks ahead to retirement, we celebrate not only his decades of service, but also the immeasurable cascade effects of his dedication. Former students carry forward the lessons of his care, and colleagues, the inspiration of his example. Congratulations, my friend. You're welcome.
Wow. 20 years is no joke, but that was better than a eulogy. Like, that was amazing. I think I would want to frame that. Thank you so much for all the dedication that you have given to our students. I know, as a fellow math teacher, that it is very difficult to get kids to love math, and the fact that you can do that at the high school level after they've had years of suffering through and feeling like they were never going to succeed is amazing. I mean, that's unbelievable. And I know I've had kids go through as well. And sometimes math is the thing that causes kids to feel like they give up. Math is too hard and school is too hard, and it's because of math. So for you to get them over that hump and show them that they can be successful and have them walk out of your room and say they love math, that's incredible. That deserves every award there is to give. So here's a certificate. And a lovely little gift. Thank you. And so much appreciation. So much appreciation.
All right, Victor.
Well, that was fun. I love it when there's all these personal connections. Thank you, John. Thank you, Katie, bringing your families and your colleagues. You're welcome to stay for our entire meeting if you'd like, or now is a great time to go if you also would like. So, yes, we recognize you have busy lives and nights, so thank you for coming. We will now welcome our CSEA President Bettina Hart to present the CSEA report.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening, President Price, members of the board, Superintendent Stock, members of cabinet. It's great to be here tonight sharing some updated stuff regarding what's going on with our chapter. I thought I would share some news regarding what's happening. We recently completed our 2025 scholarship awards for the graduating seniors of this past year. There were 4 seniors that we awarded $800 each. These students are the children of our chapter members, employees who give so much every day to the district, and supporting their families in this way is just a small way for us to be able to say thank you. So for these 4 students, be able to help them with their schooling and their scholarship has been really wonderful. I also want to share that we have that our tentative agreement will be going to vote next Thursday. We are really pleased and happy with how the district worked with us, and we truly appreciate being recognized as the backbone of this district. We come to work every day, rain or shine, committed to doing the best for our students. And at the end of the day, we're all here for the same reason, to support our students. And it's wonderful when we can work together and make that happen. So thank you for supporting us and just being there for us and understanding how hard we work for the district. I wanted to take a moment to recognize another group of our unsung heroes, our special education aides. They are our largest group of members, yet they are probably recognized the least for the incredible work that they do every single day. Like the other departments I've spoken about before, they are essential to the foundation of keeping our schools so strong. Our aides show up every day greeting our students when they come off the buses, helping them make it to their classes on time, supporting them from the very start of the day till the end. They help some of our most vulnerable students grow, learn, and thrive, often quietly, without recognition. One of my favorite experiences was when I worked at Whitney High School many years ago, attending the unified sports events. When I remember back then, the high school aides, we loved going to these events to seeing the students out there playing. Coming up later this month is the 9th annual Spectacular Soccer Tournament at Whitney High, where Rocklin High, Del Oro, Nevada Union, and Indercom will be attending, and having the stands full of family and friends is probably one of the most exciting parts to be of and to see. It's such an amazing thing. I remember being a part of the first year with Nick French and Jimenez, putting together the schedule, getting the schools coming, and it was just such a neat thing. That was 9 years ago. I can't believe it's already so much time has gone by. And then when there's musicals, plays, sports events, and dances, if a special aide is asked to attend to support a student, they always say yes. And it's not because they don't want to, it's just they love their students. They love being with them, they love supporting them. Our aides go above and beyond in so many ways. One of our aides at Rock Creek supported a student by going on the Slide Park 5-day trip and be able to make sure that the student could be able to participate fully and experience that everyone else. Our aides work closely with our teachers. With collaborating on lessons, on their goals, and finding ways to make sure their students succeed and grow. Many aides stay with their students from kindergarten all the way up until they graduate, attending milestones either in the stands or by their students' sides when they graduate from high school. These examples show the depth and care and commitment that our aides give every single day. It is unwavering dedication to their willingness to go the extra mile for every student, and their constant presence from start to finish is why our aides are truly the backbone of our district. On a different note, we are coming up on our chapter elections. This is the time that we're doing nominations for president, vice president, and secretary, and I've made the decision not to run for president. While it has been a very bittersweet decision, I have truly enjoyed coming up here, speaking with you guys, sharing updates, telling how wonderful our union is. and connecting all to you with everything. I've learned so much, and I so appreciate the friendships that I've made and the connections. And I know me coming up here, being the cheerleader for our union, you can really see how hard we work. We are the backbone. If you didn't have our departments, we wouldn't be here tonight. Technology, making sure our computers work. Nutrition services, making sure the kids are fed. Transportation, making sure the kids are to and from school. Maintenance and operations. I mean, without us, yeah, the school district wouldn't be. So thank you for seeing that. Thank you for always appreciating my I don't know, I want to call it, sorry, I just went blank. Shout outs to my people. I appreciate you for appreciating that and really see how much we love being here. We love being here for the students. That's why we do what we do. So I will still continue being a chief steward, kind of more taking a back seat to everything. But I just wanted to say thank you guys for this amazing, and I still have 2 more meetings. So I still will be giving you guys updates, but I just want to let you know. And whoever takes over this role, they're going to be phenomenal. And I know they're going to give you exactly what I have done these last 2 years and continue to be the voice and continue to show you why we are the backbone of this district. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Bettina, we are so sad that we're going to lose you as CSEA president. You have just been a breath of fresh air every meeting and such a positive way to start and celebrate. And you've done such a beautiful job representing so many that are often not talked about. So you will really, really be missed. Thank you. Okay, we will next move to item 7.1, comments and report from our student board. Representative Lucas Marquardt, will you please share your report?
Of course. Okay. Thank you. October has been an exciting and activity-filled month across our district schools, with vibrant fall events, hands-on learning experiences, and strong community engagement. Here's a look at what's been happening at each of our campuses. Let's start at the elementary schools. Rocklin Elementary is gearing up for its annual Fall Festival on Friday, October 17th. The school community is looking forward to their Red Ribbon Week, which will feature engaging student activities and a special presentation from the local law enforcement. Rock Creek Elementary recently hosted its popular Grand Event Book Fair, where grandparents joined students for a special lunch and a shopping experience at the end of September. 6th graders enjoyed an unforgettable trip to Slide Park. 1st graders had a fun outing to the pumpkin patch, and the cross-country team has been making the most of running in the cooler weather. The entire school is now looking forward to its PTC-sponsored Trunk or Treat on Friday, October 24th. Valley View's learning community has been very busy diving into its hands-on learning experiences that their school is known for. 6th graders returned from a memorable and rainy Slide Park science camp, while 1st graders visited Bishop's Pumpkin Farm, and 4th graders toured the state capitol, where they are greeted by Trustee Sathoff. Teachers are collaborating to develop high-quality learning experiences, and the PBIS leadership team is enhancing positive behavior intervention supports. The school's community is excited for this Friday's Fall Festival, October 17th, and next month's Raise Craze Kindness Fundraiser, in which the whole school makes an extra effort of kindness. They are so grateful for all the great teaching, learning, and community involvement. Sierra's counselor at Sierra Elementary, Mrs. Holsoppel, launched a peacemakers group to promote conflict resolution and positive social interactions during recess. These students were selected to be peacemakers for their strength in staying calm, being patient, listening well, showing respect, and helping others. The school also introduced its first Destination Imagination team, where students will tackle creative STEAM challenges. The challenges are open-ended, allowing teams to express themselves creativity and take full ownership in their solutions. Challengers are designed to teach the creative process, a system of learning that is the root of innovation and a child's ability to bring an idea to life. I actually participated in a DI team in elementary school, and it was a very enriching program. I'm happy to hear it's at Sierra now. They expect their Sharks to do very well in skills they're learning in the IB program, and the Sierra annual PTC Fall Carnival returns on October 24th. This longstanding tradition for community brings together students, staff, and family to celebrate the season, enjoy some games, and raise funds for our science camp fees for 5th graders. We welcome the entire Sierra community, including Sierra alumni, to join in for the fun. Sunset Ranch PTC Fall Carnival will take place Friday, October 17th from 5:30 to 7:30, with their traditional costume parade at Bolton Park beginning at 5:15. The PTC has committed to creating events like this that are free to attend for all our coyotes. Additionally, the PTC will soon be partnering with their site to submit a joint proposal for one of their initial one-time faculty projects. They are eager to take the next steps to make their Sunset Ranch campus even more beautiful. In their classroom, they are diving in to plan and enhance their instruction with deep-level conceptual questioning to stretch students' learning. This month, their students are chasing in their PBIS positives to earn prizes and opportunities such as lunch with the principal and fun outdoor scavenger hunt. Antelope Creek teachers and staff have been finishing up more integrated Spark the Arts units during all-day planning sessions that took place in September and October. Teachers continue to develop interdisciplinary units that focus on connecting board adoption curriculum and California content standards to the California artistic literacy strands and the California artistic processes. Each unit also contains a connection to the masterwork that students learn about as part of the unit of study. Students and staff also had their first Spark the Arts assembly of the year when professional drummer Michael Byard came and shared his assembly Rhythm Magic with the school. The next assembly will be this month with professional dance team International Dance Collective. Finally, they will be holding an annual fall carnival at AC on Friday, October 24th. This is a chance for the community to gather and have fun together, and is sponsored by the wonderful PTC at Antelope Creek. At Quarry Trail, the 6th graders enjoyed outdoor learning at science camp last week, and the whole school is looking forward to the annual trunk or treat sponsored by the PTC on October 24th. In their 4th year, they continue to build tradition and culture as their dual language immersion program is now TK through 3rd grade. Such a joy seeing students becoming multilingual and culturally competent. Twin Oaks Elementary has been had a busy October start, and it looks like a busy month, offering a variety of programs and activities that highlight both student learning and community spirit. Their annual Square One Art fundraiser is now in full swing, giving students a chance to display their artistic talents while helping raise funds to support school art initiatives. The cross-country team remains a favorite after-school activity, with many students participating and showing great teamwork, perseverance, and excitement as they prepare for the upcoming meet. Meanwhile, their parent-teacher club, PTC, is gearing up for the popular Trunk or Treat event on Friday, October 24th. This week, they are collecting candy donations in their cheerful candy monster boxes around campus. This much-loved tradition brings together families and staff for an evening of fun, creativity, community, and connection. In the classroom, their 4th and 5th grade students have been busy presenting their book reports, sharing their learning with classmates, and fostering love of reading. These presentations have been a wonderful way for students to build confidence in public speaking and celebrate reading as a joyful shared experience. They are looking forward to all the fun coming their way. The last elementary school on the list at Breen, kindergarten students are learning about the fall season, tasting different varieties of apples and voting on their favorite. Students are studying the life cycle of a pumpkin and visiting Bishop Pumpkin Farm to pick their very own. Students are having fun with adding single-digit numbers, learning sight words, and reading decodable books in class. Moving on to Springview Middle School, Springview welcomed 693 families to its 3rd annual family picnic in September, and followed up with a successful fall dance where students danced the night away and color run, where all Eagles could participate. They appreciated having so many families volunteering to make the event a success. Their Q1 High Flyer Spooky Lunch is coming up later this month, as well as our first ever Trunk or Treat event for students with 100 merits. At Rocklin High School just had a fantastic Pixar Presents theme homecoming week in which numerous students participated in a variety of activities. These included the construction of 4 exceptional homecoming floats and homecoming dance, which was attended by over 1,350 students. In a week and a half, on Friday, October 24th, they will be hosting the annual Battle of the Shield football game against Delora High School in honor of Officer Matt Redding. The next evening, on Saturday, October 25th, they will hold their annual Creepy concert in the Rocklin High School gym, which is a visual and performing arts event that includes performances from their outstanding bands, choir, dance classes, and theater arts students. Come out and join the amazing Rocklin High School community for these events. From Victory High School and Rocklin Alternative Education, their Interact Club is once again putting service before self by hosting a food and clothing drive. In anticipation for the holidays, they are collecting non-perishable food items and new or gently used clothing, now through December. Thanks to the incredible generosity of the community, they are already off to an amazing start. Please spread the word. There are a lot of families out there in need. Additionally, throughout the month, the ASB is leading various suicide prevention awareness, breast cancer awareness, and Red Ribbon Week activities. Thus far, students have been sharing statistics, personal anecdotes, and stories. They're also very excited to announce that they have partnered with one of the most favorite local organizations for a neighborhood fundraiser. Their friends at Chipotle on Pleasant Grove will be hosting a fundraiser on October 28th from 4 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. There is no more delicious way to support their school and they hope you will join in. And finally, this Friday, Victory High School will be conducting their Quarter 1 award ceremony, recognizing students for their academic attendance and character achievements. Now, at Whitney High School. Whitney High School had their Alice in Wonderland homecoming week and dance on Saturday. The week started on Monday, and with an after-school showing of Alice in the Wonderland movie on the soccer fields. The week was filled with morning giveaways, lunchtime activities, and a school-wide dress-up days, which even broke a school record for the most participation on Tuesday. On Friday, Whitney had their breast cancer awareness football game, where the school had their homecoming royalty and class float parade, and announced the winning class for the homecoming week. The week ended with the Whitney's Alice in Wonderland-themed homecoming dance. As part of Whitney's commitment to student safety and preparedness, their PE1 students will participate in a Stop the Bleed training session on October 20th. This nationally recognized program empowers students with the skills to respond in the event of a bleeding emergency. They will also have a teen dating domestic violence assembly on October 21st in hopes that this session opens the lines of communication for students on teen dating violence and continues the conversation with their friends, families, siblings, and more. By empowering students with the facts, they can understand the dangers of unhealthy relationships and have tools to navigate this landscape. Finally, Red Ribbon Week is next week, where Whitney High School plans to celebrate being a drug-free school. The week includes 2 dress-up days, giveaways, and an opportunity for students to sign a pledge. Thank you.
Awesome job. Thank you, Lucas. So many great things happening in our district, and we love hearing it all from you. So thank you so much for your report. All right, colleagues, do you have any comments that you would like to share tonight?
Lucas, thank you. It's always great to hear the report. I always start taking notes, and then I realize, oh boy, there's too many. It's going to be pages worth. So great job. You did a phenomenal job highlighting so many great things that our district is doing. And so I always appreciate that student voice getting to share with us what's happening out on campuses. So thank you so much. Great job. There are some things you said that actually went in line with some of my related comments as well. And so just a few items just to share with the colleagues and the community listening in. It was so fun having some of our schools visit the state capitol. It's always a joy when we get to see our students go down on the assembly floor and really get to participate and learn why our state assembly exists and that it really exists for them and their future and really their current, but also their future. But in addition to that, I have to say, talking on a state level, a report just came out, and I was just emailed actually within the last 24 hours that the 2025 California Honor Roll recognizes schools and school districts. Their verbiage is any school district that is assisting above and beyond students of all backgrounds to achieve at high levels, meaning that they want to see diversity, that we see multiple student groups and populations grow and improve in their academic learning. And I was very pleased to see Rocklin Unified receive several awards. There was 8 different campuses of ours that fall underneath Rocklin Unified. 5 of those were elementary schools here in Rocklin Unified. 1 was a middle school, and there were 2 authorized charters as well. And so I just think it's really important that we recognize that at a state level, people are looking at and acknowledging the incredible work of our students here in Rocklin. That also means the incredible work of our staff and our teachers. And whether you're in the front of a classroom or you're making sure the classroom is able to be open and safe for all students, I just thought that was a great thing to highlight. Additionally, it was fun being out on some campuses, being out specifically on Rocklin High, Placer County, elections office, clerk's office. I know many different trustees were able to be involved, so apologies if everybody wants to speak on that. But I just thought it was so great to see active involvement from our students. So the county elections office brought out Stacey Robinson to explain to our students, their right to vote, and gave a really good bipartisan look at the reality is there are many common factors, and how do we get there? How do we see great things accomplished in our local government and our state government? And so it was great to be able to be a speaker and be a part of that with our high school students. And I have to tell you, they asked some good questions. So I was really, really impressed with our up-and-coming leaders and the questions that they asked. Of all parties that were present, representatives. And I am so thankful for the teachers that really make sure there was a balanced approach given to our students. I think that's really important that we do that, and I'm thankful that they were able to accomplish that from what I experienced on the times that I was there. Additionally, I wanted to highlight, I heard you mention several PTC events up and coming, and on our consent agenda item is an item specifically about PTCs that as they complete the steps for us to authorize them as a school-connected organization. There's a few that have done that we're going to be recognizing in our consent agenda item. And rather than pulling it off, I just thought I'd mention a few comments just to say, parents, this is a great way for you to be involved. I often have parents ask, what can I do to have a voice or a say or be involved? PTC is a great way. As you heard, there are many phenomenal things happening on our campuses because of the great work PTC is doing. And although PTC is a school-connected group, it goes above and beyond just being a organization or group. They really are many of the doers and many of the great activities that we see happen because of the parents that get involved. So an encouragement to parents getting involved in those PTCs. And then also, I just wanted to wrap up with an update on Safety Committee. I know Trustee Price may have some comments as well. She sits on Safety Committee with me. But not only was the timing of our safety committee really important, I really appreciate the work of our district. And I know Associate Superintendent Marty Flowers, I was really appreciative to have your leadership there. For us to have quite a large group, representative of teachers, of parents, to really come in and really look at what are we doing to really ensure the safety of our students and staff. And I thank you for very clear dialogue of what actions the district is taking. The district can always do more. I also appreciated a response to the board's request of our threat assessments that we had completed. And out of those threat assessments, there were some recommendations given. And to see action already happening, that the dollars that the board allocated, the $1.5 million for safety, to see that already show up. Actually, we have an info item on that a little bit later, but I just wanted to highlight it in my comments tonight. Because on our consent agenda, we actually are already looking at, if the consent agenda were to pass tonight, 2 specific items that I was able to have some extensive dialogue with some parents in our community about. One is a visitor management system that would be rolled out on all of our campuses. It's been piloted here, and I was able to really ask and hear and see how it works. And I just so appreciate, you go into a hospital and you have to check in, and there's a record of who's been on campus. And I feel like that is a responsibility of us to our parents, our students, and our staff, that we know who's on our campuses. And so this not only photo recognition, but also beyond just a paper login, that our RPD, Rocklin Police Department that was present, they'll be able to access that data in the event of an emergency instantaneous. I just thought, what a wonderful idea. So thank you to leadership that made that decision and that proposal. And then in addition, the purchase and installation of additional cameras. I know that's been a request. And so I was very happy to see that on the consent agenda tonight to take action on that. So thank you very much. I know there's always more we can do, but I appreciate the priority that was put on and the responsiveness to the board's request that we see action taken this fall. So thank you very much.
So first off, thank you very much. Good job. Take a breath next time, but love the fact that we got 3 or 4 pages for you. So always great to hear about the events, always great to hear about all the activities and things that are going on in the schools. Always a challenge with the rains and all the stuff that comes with weather. So thank you. Thank you very much to all the CSEA staff, M&O, buses, lunch, IT, having it all work when water starts falling out of the sky, because it's amazing that all the problems tend to show up when water falls out of the sky. So thank you, thank you, thank you to your team for keeping that everything and having it all just work as it normally does. So thank you for that. And then just a quick shout out, October 25th, there's the Matt Redding Halloween baseball event at Whitney High School, which is always funny. If you don't watch it, you're gonna watch high school kids play baseball in Halloween costumes, and it's just pure humor and laughs because they do some silly, stupid things, but it's fun to watch it. It's a great event. Rocklin plays Whitney at Whitney. It's just a good, fun time. So if you can be there, please be there.
Okay, yeah, I think we've had a lot going on over the last few weeks and some overlap, but I'll try to cover some different stuff. I was able to go out for the middle school cross-country division finals and league final meets, and it was really great to see these teams. The kids are so great at supporting each other, cheering each other on, even cheering on the other runners that come from other schools. So seeing the Springview and Granite Oaks runners just do such an excellent job was great to see. We all were able to attend the Rocklin Educational Excellence Foundation's annual Starlight Soiree recently, and it was an excellent event. I recommend anyone who's interested in supporting a local fundraiser, that an organization that helps our schools, gives scholarships, helps teachers to try out new projects in their classrooms. It was really fun. I got to see, we all saw Mr. Desange over here trying out one of the adaptive tricycles. We had Chris Purdy, our adaptive PE teacher, come out, talk about the needs of their program to make sure that the special education students are able to get physical activity that they need. And yeah, it was really informative and fun. And then we did have a board study session recently as well. We had some teachers come out to talk about how the ELA interventions and math programs are going, explain how they execute that in the class. We were able to ask them a lot of questions about the logistics, saw some really great videos of it in action in the classrooms, and the students really engaged, and that engagement, I think, was something we really all loved seeing. I also was able to recently meet with a few of our PTC presidents. They were asking me lots of questions. They really, held me to my knowledge. But they were able to give me some updates on what their sites have been talking about with their school improvement funds and some of the conversations and questions that have been generated from that, but all just really positive to hear, and definitely, gave me a list to come away with to check in for them. And I'll leave some of the other things if others want to talk as well. Thank you.
Okay, a lot's been said, and that's fantastic, so I'll keep it short. Lucas, great job. Wow, they gave you a novel to read. That was amazing. You did really well. It's so great to hear all the things that are happening around our district. I especially loved hearing about the carnivals and parades and trunk or treats and dress up days and all the fun stuff that's going on around the district, and the homecomings, just as busy as can be. Bettina, I could not be more sad that you are not running for president. You have done such an outstanding job as president. You have really shined a light on all the different crews around the district, and it has been so awesome to get to hear about all the different departments and to hear all the things that are being done that we may not see that are happening behind the scenes. And I loved that you covered the special ed aides tonight, because I know I've seen how hard they work. They're amazing workers, and let's be real, they are not going to get rich doing it. So they work really, really hard, and it's 100% from their heart. So I'm glad that you highlighted them. And I did want to give a shout out to Reef. The soiree was lovely, and it always is. And I love that they bring out our Whitney High band to provide entertainment for the evening. And we also have our, my mind just went blank, our military. Our Air Force Junior ROTC, yes, helping with everything, and they do such a great job. And then today, we had our employee recognition, and we honored our teachers who have been in our district, or not just our teachers, but all of our staff who've been in our district for 10 years, 15 years, 20, 25, 30, unbelievably. That's amazing. And it was so fun to get to honor them. And just have them all here cheering for each other. It was a lovely afternoon. And that's it. It's been a wonderful few weeks.
I had 11 things to talk about, and they almost all got crossed off. So I'm debating about what I'd like to share. We have a wonderful relationship with Rocklin Academy and have been a longtime authorizer of their schools, and they invited me out to tour their beautiful Gateway campus yesterday. And, you know, I've driven by there for how many years? Let's see, you guys have been there since 2014 and had never been inside. And it looks like an office building from the outside, but the school inside is beautiful and so welcoming and engaging. Superintendent Stout and Principal Lane took me, as well as some students and their business officer. It was a wonderful tour, and just to share with you, my colleagues, there's one of the things that I love the most is they have, each floor has these classrooms for each grade are close to each other, and they have a central hub where their libraries are and where they've got room to have some one-on-one time with students. It was a really impressive experience, and so look forward to hearing from you maybe a little bit later, and thank you for the invitation as well. It was great to be there. I still have glue in my fingernails from the homecoming float. I helped do a little bit of pomping, and there's a lot of crepe paper squares that go into those homecoming floats. And it's actually just such a sweet experience to be there and see how many students engage and enjoy and laugh and have, I mean, my son in particular was there 28 hours. So it is just, it's really amazing to watch how many students are involved with that and the fun memories that are made through those homecoming floats and all the other memories that week as well. The last thing I think I'll share is, actually I'm going to share two things. One, our junior ROTC program, they are hosting Wreaths Across America this year at Rocklin Cemetery. Is that information on our website? I'm not sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it's on the website. It's also in the monthly newsletters that get sent out to staff and families. And we'll also be sending out a social media post in the coming weeks, as well as doing outreach to our local dignitaries and working with the city of Rocklin to put it in their newsletters as well.
Great, thank you.
So far, we have 196 wreaths sponsored, but their goal is 440.
Okay.
So feel free to pass it on to other people as well. You guys got flyers today, but I could get more copies for you guys as well. Great,
Thank you. Looks like there's opportunities to sponsor a wreath, volunteer, and of course to invite others. So we look forward to that. That's on Saturday, December 13th. And then I know it was mentioned, but we had our Rocklin, our employee recognition tonight, and One of the things that I shared, I just want to take the opportunity to share publicly as well. I had a parent call me last week and tell me about their son who had just finished being at boot camp for the military. And when his parents went to pick him up, they were, of course, he was excited to see his parents. And when they got to the car, he said, "I'd like to call my teacher." And he wanted to tell his teacher from Rocklin High School that he was the one that got him through boot camp and that he remembered some of his words and was so inspired by that. And so I just really appreciated that. That's just a really good example of all the things that our staff does for students and the reason why I know each of them individually get into this career and this profession is for kids, and I'm so grateful for that. Superintendent Stock, do you have any comments that you would like to share?
Just a few brief comments. I want to, again, thank Bettina for your leadership at CSCA. We've enjoyed a long-standing, deep partnership with CSCA, and your leadership helped enhance that. So we appreciate all the additional time you took above and beyond your day job to lead CSCA. Also, at our Years of Service event, just a couple numbers to go with that, we had the opportunity to honor 90 employees that represented 1,475 years of service to the district for those milestones, and that's very incredible, and we're grateful for employees of all job descriptions that serve our children. And then our next board meeting will be after November 11th, so just an opportunity we are so grateful for all those who have chosen to serve our country. We are very fortunate to have within our employee ranks a number of veterans from a variety of services, so we always like to appreciate and honor those that have chosen to serve our country and just acknowledge that we'll be sharing that out as well, and we're grateful for them.
Thank you so much. We'll now move to item 8.1, the consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine and will be enacted by one motion followed by a roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the Board of Trustees requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action. Any items removed will be voted upon following the motion to approve the consent calendar. Does any trustee wish to remove an item from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action?
I'd like to remove item 8.3, please.
Okay. Trustee Sadoff, bless you. Bless you. Requested to remove consent item 8.3 for separate discussion and action. Is there a motion to approve the remainder of the consent agenda items?
So moved.
First by Trustee Hupp.
Second?
Second by Trustee Counter. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Lucas Marquardt,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff,
Yes.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Julie Hupp,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Yes.
Rochelle Price.
Yes, motion passes. Trustee Sadoff, would you please speak to item 8.3?
Yes, item 8.3 was action on our USD study session minutes, and unfortunately, I had a previously scheduled trip out of state, and so I was unable to physically be here, although I did that means I cannot vote on the minutes. However, I did receive a very comprehensive update on the study session, including several data tables that I was really appreciative to hear where we're on target, where we're approaching target, and where we need to have some improvement to better reach target, specifically in our targeted support groups. But really appreciate the work done and the staff that were present, and unfortunately, I'll be unable to vote on that one this evening.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion to approve consent agenda item 8.3?
So moved.
First by Trustee Sutherland.
Second.
Second by Trustee Hupp. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Lucas Marquardt,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff,
Abstain.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Julie Hupp,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Yes.
Rochelle Price.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, item 9.1, we now invite Jennifer Stahlheber, Deputy Superintendent of Business Operations, to present item 9.1, action on Rocklin Academy Gateway Charter petition renewal for July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2033.
Good evening, President Price, Trustees, Superintendent Stock. Rocklin Academy Gateway Charter provided their petition renewal in July of 2025. We had a regular board meeting on September 17th where they presented Superintendent Stout and Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services Bowler made a presentation to the board. We also had some students speak. I also attended one of their tours and got to see some of those students. Also ran into Trustee Sutherland. It was a really pleasant visit and really neat to see the school in action. And hear the students and how involved they are in the day-to-day of the school. We reviewed that petition that came in, district staff, and then we also reviewed it with legal counsel. We completed that review and submitted a findings of fact to the board with this. And as a high-performing charter, as defined in Ed Code Section 46707, Subdivision C 2E, Gateway has requested renewal for 7 years. We have the ability to give them a 5 to 7 year because they're in the high-performing category. And based on the considerations and their petition, the district recommends renewal for 7 years as requested by Gateway.
Thank you so much. So we've had this last meeting as an information item. Does anybody have any additional questions or comments?
No, I just want to also say thank you for the invitation to come out, and extra props to, let's see, Conrad, Titus, Jada, and Mira, I think. The Student Engagement Committee, very just impressed by their maturity and organization as they took us all around. And you had already presented a very thorough and impressive slide deck the previous meeting, but being able to see it in person and interact with some of the teachers and see the students was very helpful. So thank you.
Great, no questions, just a comment, just to reiterate, I know we were able to talk a little bit at our previous meeting, but I just think it's so important that we protect a parent's choice, a student's choice, and I think it is phenomenal that we have a variety of wonderful options in the city of Rocklin for students and parents to choose what works best for them, and so I am happy to support petition renewal. I have heard incredible things, and I think data speaks for itself very clearly, so thank you for the leadership, specifically regarding Gateway. Happy to support the request this evening.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the collaboration and the relationship, the longstanding. I will now call for a motion to approve the Rocklin Academy Gateway Charter Petition Renewal for July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2033.
So moved.
First by Trustee Sadoff.
Second.
Second by Trustee Counter. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Lucas Marquardt,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff,
Yes.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Julie Huff,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Yes.
Rochelle Price.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. And please tell those students that they were so impressive. Yeah.
Just when you got up, they all ran out.
Miss Moon, I forgot to give you a shout out. Thank you for the tour and your students, all of you, so impressive. All right, we will now invite Marty Flowers, Associate Superintendent of Secondary Education, to present item 9.2, action on revisions to Board Policy 6161.1, selection and evaluation of instructional materials.
Thank you, President Price, Trustee, Superintendent Stock. During the September 3rd board meeting, agenda item on AP Psychology curriculum, trustees requested the staff bring back to the board a revised board policy to ensure notification about curriculum pilots and defining the length of a curriculum pilot. Excuse me. The proposed revisions to board policy 6161.1 include adding language to the policy that will require notification of the Board of Trustees prior to the start of a pilot. It also requires notification of parents of students enrolled in a class participating in a pilot curriculum. This has been the practice of the district that has been established for a number of years. Additionally, language has been added to the policy that defines the length of the curriculum pilot. With that, staff asked the board to take action on the revisions to the Rocklin Unified School District Board Policy 6161.1, selection and evaluation of instructional materials.
Thank you so much. So I just wanted to point out the two changes. So the one change says the board and parents of students in the class will be informed prior to the start of a adoption process. And two, the pilot is not to exceed 9 weeks in duration. And it looks like in our curriculum adoption process, it's listed 4 to 9 weeks. So the max would be 9 weeks that a pilot could take place during a semester.
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed 9 weeks.
That is
right.
correct.
Okay, does anybody have any additional comments or questions regarding policy 6161.1?
I really appreciated the opportunity to have the dialogue we had last time and then to see these proposed changes in it. I did want to speak specifically, at this item, is it okay for me to speak specifically to the curriculum, or are we wanting to talk just policy change?
I think this item is about the policy change, and then the next.
Serve my comments then for the next one.
Perfect.
I appreciate the responsiveness to the request to make some policy changes. Just for clarity, so that way parents, staff, students know what to expect when we're talking about a pilot, and that we're aware ahead of time so we can hopefully celebrate great pilots together. I'll reserve my comments regarding the curriculum for the next item.
Okay, seeing no public comment, is there a motion to revisions to approve Board Policy 6161.1, selection and evaluation of instructional materials?
So moved.
First by
Second.
Trustee Sutherland, second by Trustee Sadoff. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Lucas Marquardt,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff,
Yes.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Julie Hupp,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Yes.
Rochelle Price.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. Thank you for your work on that. Okay, Marty, will you please continue with action on the Rocklin Unified School District textbook adoption for advanced placement psychology?
President Price, Trustee, Superintendent Stock, I come before you with an action item on that AP psychology material. And once again, I want to make sure anyone in the audience and listening online or watching online, I should say, make sure advanced placement classes are college-level classes. Again, if students take the class and they take the exam and they pass with a 3 or higher, many universities receive those credits. Again, I'm the beneficiary of that. My son graduated college in 3 years because of his AP classes. So with that being college level, some of the material is advanced level. All of our teachers ahead of time talk about it. So some of these classes may have sensitive material because it is college level. And once again, at the beginning of each year, we go over that sensitive topics. Every principal at the secondary level reviews that material. So with that being said, just talk to you a little bit about the adoption timeline. This started in the spring of 2024 when the College Board announced a revised version of the course and the exam. We immediately got on a team. We evaluated material. We did our pilot last year from August to December. There were still some questions about that, so we did not move forward. And by the time we did get those questions answered, it was summertime. We don't like to bring that in the summertime. So this material was presented in September. We have a 30-day required public review. And because between board meetings, there wasn't enough time, that's why I'm bringing you here in October. And once again, if approved tonight, we will move forward with that. As far as the committee work, just a review, they review the revised information I just talked about. They looked at 4 different options. They did decide on one. They identified that pilot. And again, shout out I always have to give to Amanda Bannister. She does amazing work with this, and appreciate the teachers participating. And then as you can see on the bottom there, per our board policy 6161.1, we had 2 parents participate in that process as well. With that, we are bringing forward the Myers psychology. David Myers kind of controls this arena. He has a number of different psychology books, but this particular one is used throughout Placer County, into Sacramento County, and actually I found out across the nation. Again, back to that public review process by California Ed Code, we're required to do that for a minimum of 30 days. Rocklin Unified is committed to making sure every parent has that opportunity. And at the request of the board a couple years back, a web page was created so parents can look at this 24/7. It's online, digital access to all the curriculum, and then any specific questions, staff is available to answer those questions. Some additional information that is kind of late now, but we just approved this during that September 3rd, as we just approved, like I said, notification to trustees ahead of time, define the duration of that pilot process, and then ensure transparency. And we talked about providing that overview like we do for our history, social studies courses. We will add AP psychology into that, and then making sure that it's part of the academic planning guide. So when parents are looking at this, they can truly look in and see what information will be taught in that course. With that, next steps. If approved by the board, we will make sure that we purchase and deliver these to the sites. Amanda will provide the excellent professional development she always does, and then ongoing support. So with that, staff asks the board to take action on approving AP psychology curriculum.
Thank you, Marty. Could you go back one slide, please? Okay, I know that one of my concerns, I value the rigor that AP classes bring. I'm still have some concerns about the sensitive topics that are mentioned in this class. So I know we talked about having parents provided with the advanced knowledge of all content utilized during the course selection and at the beginning of the course. I appreciate that. What would that look like for parents?
So in our academic planning guide is actually available online, so they could go through that, and what we'll do is attach the overview that was provided, and it'll have the course content of all that, similar to a table of contents. We will also make sure that at our showcase nights that we have this information available out. Depending, schools do it a little bit differently, but a lot of times you'll have the social studies department, the science department and such. We'll make sure that we have this information available for them.
Thank you. Is it just going to be the table of contents?
Once again, I can work with schools to ensure that there's a hard copy of the book there at Showcase Night if they would like. But yes, the challenge here is publishers don't want to give us full access to the digital content. But what they could do is if they know someone in the class, they could go on and review that material. Or, once again, per our, if you remember earlier this year, our opt-out with Mahmoud, the Mahmoud decision, they could make an appointment and go to the school, and they have hard copies of the books there. They're welcome to do that at any time if they have any questions.
Okay. Could we be sure that all of that information is included? So when a parent gets on, yes, they can see the syllabus, but I also want them to know how they find, all of the curriculum, what their access is to that.
Sure,
we can add that to the academic planning guide online, that if, any time a parent wants to review any of the curriculum, because of Mahmoud versus Taylor, that what the process is, and have even a link to our webpage on our website about how to access that.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. Thanks.
I had an addition to that, because I really appreciated that request to really make sure this isn't just after a child's already in the classroom and then the next week they're about to have this, it's not a rushed decision, but this is before the course is actually selected, because this is an elective course. It's an AP course, college level course. And so I see this very different than a second grade core curriculum that every student is mandated and required to take. Not only is there an age difference, there is also just the requirement of the course. And so I do see several sensitive issues in the curriculum. I also recognize that this is an AP course. So this is college level teaching with college level materials. Now, a parent over the age of 40 may not have really experienced AP courses themselves. And so I know this is the world we work in every day, but I wanted to throw out a suggestion to really help, because I think although we fully support and make clear that we will support the wishes of a parent, oftentimes a parent doesn't even know what to ask or look for. And so I was hoping, is there a possibility that on the course selection form, I'm assuming we still use that, I know with my kids, they would come home in the spring, say, hey, this is what we talked about with our counselor, this is what I'm looking at. We would then have that conversation together. I would think that maybe a simple asterisk, or however you feel would be best, of at the AP courses, specifically my request is for AP psychology, but I think it could be beneficial for all AP courses, an annotation or a notation, essentially saying, and my hope is we can accomplish two things. This is a course taught at a college level with college level materials. I think we assume that parents know that for AP because they're getting college credit. The parents I've talked to are not always aware of that. And so if there's an easy way that's not an administrative burden, but maybe it's just like a little asterisk, or maybe it's a little note, like one line under every AP course that says, this is a college level course taught with college level materials. Because if I was looking at this curriculum through the lens of, a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, not in a college level course, I would probably have even more concerns. And so I really want to make sure it's clear to parents. These are college level materials because they'll be getting college credit, and I want them to engage in that conversation with their child. I mean, colleagues, would you see an interest in supporting that? Is that something do you feel could be accomplished on the course? What I'm looking for is this to be signified on the actual documents they would be looking at that are brought home.
What I foresee is putting a paragraph in there that explains what advanced placement does.
Okay.
And as you mentioned, that asterisk, and then we can identify, because it is broken up, by the different curriculums, but we could easily identify that, and I would be happy to work with both high schools in order to accomplish that.
We would facilitate that for all AP classes.
Correct.
I don't think it's
No, right.
Yeah,
it just makes it an easy, hey, this is a college level.
I'd be happy to work with the schools to do that, yeah.
Perfect. If that can be accomplished, although I will say I do have reservations on the curriculum. However, I have reservations with the state framework as well. And the goal of this curriculum is to match the state framework. And so I do encourage parents to review it, be aware so they can have conversations with their teens that would be taking this course. With that, then I do feel I can support as long as we're able to clearly achieve the goal of making sure parents know this is college level with college level materials.
Great. Any additional comments or questions?
No, I'm just excited that our students will have this option with updated material. I know, being that this was my interest, and I did take the psychology/sociology back when that was what was offered. I think that this is great. It is, like you mentioned, AP courses, you're really teaching to the test in a way that maybe you aren't in other courses. And my understanding in talking about this as well is that the AP scores for this course did improve in the pilot year as compared to the previous year. So I'm really optimistic that this will be excellent for our students and help set them up for college success.
Thank you. I'm going to call for a motion that we move, that we approve the Rocklin Unified School District textbook adoption for advanced placement AP psychology with the noted changes. Is that how you'd like me to word that?
Yes, within, I think with the increased parent notification at the time of course selection.
Okay.
Around the course content.
Does that work? Okay.
Correct.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
First by Trustee Sutherland. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Counter. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Lucas Markart,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff,
Yes.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Julie Hupp,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Yes.
Rochelle Price.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you for your work on that. Thank you. We will now move to item 9.4 and invite Hannah Anderson, Director of Innovation and School Programs, to present action item 9.4, action on revised board policies and administrative regulations. And I think I'm just going to read all the numbers when we get to the motion part. So go ahead. Welcome.
Sounds good. Good evening, President Price, trustees, Superintendent Stock. As part of the federal program monitoring process, the California Department of Education will look at several board policies and administrative regulations. This is a regular part of this review process. On September 17th, I brought the board policies and administrative regulations associated with agenda item 9.4 for information. Tonight, these policies are brought back before you for action, and I'm happy to answer any questions trustees may have.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, any questions or comments?
Thank you for your work on this. Oh boy, that was a lot of documents to go through. You guys were able to supply me with printed copies, I think just for a visual. Whew, that's a lot of verbiage, and I really appreciate it. I do think it's important. I mean, some of these, haven't been updated. I mean, we're talking 2011, 2010, 2000, and so I do appreciate the important work going into as law changes. We want to make sure that we are aware of that and that our board policies reflect that. I will say, some of these documents, trustees, I found myself, some of them are 11 pages alone. And so it's really important to me when we are approving a board policy, to my understanding, that is us saying we already acknowledge state law and state law changes. Board policies is our form of local control to really direct and state what are the desires of the board, and then ARs, our administrative regulations, are how we expect that to be played out, essentially, within our district. And so many times board policies are really critical, right? To say, you know, here's the expectation of the board, here's what we want to make sure, like our sensitive topics policy. You know, when there is material presented to children, we want it to be neutral. And so I think board policies are really, really important. Because of that, I read every word, and I want to make sure if my name is going to something, it means I believe it's best for our students. And sometimes there's language recommended by organizations or individuals that might have good intent, but I want to make sure I fully understand that this was driven by a law change or that there's a local need that's requiring us to approve the policy. And so because of that, I've spent some time digging through. I've had a few parents reach out to me about some of them that we're looking at. I appreciate the change we made a few years ago that board policies come to us as an info item. Gives us some time to really ask the questions and get the answers. I was able to share a few additional questions with Superintendent Stock that recently came up, and I appreciate him and the team that are working to flesh some of those out. There's still a few I'm hoping to get some answers back on. And so trustees, because of that, there's a couple of them that I feel comfortable tonight, that I feel I've been able to get the responses and feel comfortable and understand moving forward with. There's a few that I would like to request. We already have, it sounds like, a potential plan in November to review another batch. And so there's a few that I'm asking we look at possibly tabling until I can just get a response to some of those questions that some parents had. And so in specific, I feel comfortable tonight motioning to approve 6173 BP 6173.1 and AR 6173.1. That's our education for foster youth. And just a small comment on that. I really appreciate, I know much of this is state law driven, but I really appreciate the focus on, for these students, making sure that they have consistency and continuity at their campus. You know, many of these students have moved from home to home and have had change in placements. And so I appreciate that. I feel comfortable with both of those approving tonight. As far as the others, I'm asking that we look at holding the others just so I can get some responses to my questions and then look at voting on those in November.
Okay, just to clarify, it was 6173.1, both the board policy and the AR? Okay, perfect. Does anybody have any others that they would like to have more time on or put forward?
Would it be helpful to talk about some of the points that are kind of holding up your comfort level so that maybe we can discuss or ask Hannah some questions?
Oh, I'd be happy to. I want to get the answers back first, just so that way. So I had someone reach out to me, and so for the turnaround time to be that fast, I want to make sure I fully understand the answers, and then I'm happy to bring that back to the board and say, hey, I still have these concerns. But because I haven't been able to get those answers yet, I'm just asking that we just table it for the next meeting. That's all.
Okay, so under this federal program of monitoring, what are our deadlines? Are we still fine if we move one of these forward tonight? You know, I understand we've got time again in November. Can we add the others to that date?
We absolutely can bring back any policies
Okay.
on November 19th. Our soft deadline with the state is 1 month before our review, so that is actually November 15th. However, I've given our reviewers a heads up that we have a board meeting on November 19th.
Okay.
And that we will be bringing a number of board policies and administrative regulations that are part of the review to trustees on that night for action, and then as many as we can move forward with. At that time, we'll submit on the day after on November 20th.
20th, okay.
And then we will have another batch that are coming before trustees for information on November 19th, and will come to trustees for action on December 10th. So
Okay.
they recognize and understand that we have a timeline and that we're moving through this fall, and it's within their purview to say that the ones we give them in December are too late for our review. That's still okay. We can submit them And even if we were to get a finding on something we approved this fall, we do have the opportunity to clear it within 45 days of our review period.
Okay.
So we're going to be just fine to bring
Okay.
policies back and forth this fall and do the work we need to do to feel comfortable moving forward.
Okay. I'm fine with that. I'm happy to move forward with that. It sounds like we have the time, and we appreciate your help answering trustee questions. Like Trustee Sadoff said, this is a lot of information for us to get through, and it's very detailed. So thank you so much. Does anybody have any other comments or questions?
So I just want to make sure. So there will be questions that you will communicate, and then we will all receive communication with the questions posed and the answers?
Yeah, per our practice, we'll circulate a memo. When a trustee has a question about a matter that could be heard for the board, we circulate that information to the whole board, and that's been our practice. So we'll respond to the questions that have been raised and any additional questions that come up and circulate that in a memo so the board has that information prior to this coming back in November.
And so that would not be proposed language changes necessarily. We would do that at the next meeting when we talk about both of these batches?
There's an opportunity tonight if there's actual language the board wants to talk about, and it doesn't mean it is combined to taking action. Some of the questions that have come up regarding to process, procedures, impacts of policies, more not specific to a policy, but more around implications of policies and the FPM piece. So we know that we'll provide answers, but our goal is to make sure all trustees have all information at the same time, and so we'll circulate that. And if any other questions arise from trustees between now and then, let us know, and we'll research those and circulate that as well.
Okay, I'm going to call for a motion to approve revised board policies and administrative regulation 6.73.1. Is there a motion? Board policy and ARI, I'm sorry. Yes, 6.73.1. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
First by Trustee Hupp,
Second.
second by Trustee Counter. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Lucas Marquardt,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff,
Yes.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Julie Hupp,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Yes.
Rochelle Price.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you so much. Superintendent Stock, will you please present item 9.5, action on the nomination for county committee representative?
President Price, trustees, the Placer County Committee on School District Organization, known as the County Committee, is involved in school and community college district organization matters, including the organization of new districts, territory transfers, district mergers, and the creation or revision or abolition of trustee areas. The County Committee members serve for 4 years. There is one seat up for election on the County Committee this year, and it's held in Supervisor District 4, which is more in the Granite Bay area. So any governing board, college district governing board, school district can nominate someone for that seat, but the person nominated needs to live in Supervisor District 4. So this matter is brought before the board for any action it wishes or to take or not take on this item. Any nominations are due to the county by November 7th.
Thank you so much. Any board comments or questions?
I'd like to nominate, so Phil Escamilla, who is the current Jessup University Provost and Chief Academic Officer. He's currently serving on that board. Just like to nominate him to continue his post for that position.
You call it for a second?
Yeah, so we need a second and then a vote as well.
Okay.
I'll second.
Yes. Is there any other nominations?
We need an action by the board to submit the nomination.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
just to clarify, so, sorry, I'll use my mic so other people can hear. So the nomination cannot be done to the committee by an individual. It can only be a full board action, board majority. Okay, perfect, thank you. Happy to second.
Okay. So first by Trustee Counter, second by Trustee.
So this is someone who is already on the committee.
Currently.
And so we don't know necessarily that he has an interest in.
He has an interest.
In continuing on.
In continuing, yeah, his spot. It's a 4-year term, and he's this would end it. He was looking to continue the thing. So, and he lives in that, he's already, you know, like, all the address and thing will work out.
Can you say his name again?
Phil Escamilla.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve action on the nomination for County Committee Representative Phil Escamilla, first by Trustee Counter, second by Trustee Sadoff. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Lucas Marquardt,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff,
Yes.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Julie Hupp,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Abstain.
Rochelle Price.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, we will now move to information item 10.1. Marty Flowers, will you please join us again and give us an update on the RUSD one-time safety fund expenditures?
President Price, Trustees, Superintendent Stock, I want to start by just thanking the board for dedicating $1.5 million towards safety. And I just want to go over kind of the process and where we're at there. So just a quick overview of the history of the District Safety Committee. The current members this year, we have 33 members. Some recent timelines based on those vulnerability assessments. The current resources, I don't want people in the audience to think this is all we spend. We actually spend a large chunk of money on safety throughout every year. And then I'll go over those one-time funds and what we will be moving forward with. So just a history, prior to 2017-18, we had a district safety committee really made up of people here in the district office, and we would collect feedback from school site councils. But at the request of Superintendent Stock, we expanded that to a district-wide committee, including site administrators, trustees, teachers, RTPA and CSEA representatives, Rocklin Police and Fire, and also parents. And as I just mentioned, this year's committee has 33 members on it. We'll meet 3 times. Our first one just took place on Monday. We'll meet again on January 12th and then again on April 2nd. This is just a list of those members, a large chunk of this from the district office. We have 3 site administrators. Once again, shout out to both Rocklin Police and Fire. Chief Banks participates. And I did get an email from Sean Watkins. He was sorry he could not make it, but he did review the agenda. And so I appreciate both of their participation. And then teachers, again, making up RTPA and CSEA, parent community members. And then I appreciate President Price's and Trustee Sadoff participation in that. With that, here's the timeline I was talking about, specifically over the last year and a half or so. So in February of 2024, through some connections we had, I was able to meet with representatives from the Department of Homeland Security, and I found out that they did free site assessments. So we immediately jumped on that. They were able, through March through June of 2024, to complete 4 of those, and they were very helpful. Unfortunately, both those employees that were assigned to this area took other jobs in the Department of Homeland Security and moved out of the state. They struggled to replace those, so at the request of the board, we did go out, understanding the importance of completing these, and again, appreciate the board's support there. We did go out and look at a number of different agencies. We did approve in December 18th of 2024 a contract with Consortium Training and Consulting, and work closely with Jeff Solomon, the CEO. He did present it previously at the board, as well as at the District Safety Committee. Completed all 14 of those from January to May of 2025. He presented an executive summary of that. And then, as I previously mentioned, April 2nd, the board approved $1.5 million towards safety funds. In May, discussions took place with site administrators around their site assessments. And then those principals completed a Google form in September to base, once again, I made it very clear, this is not a wish list. This is really based on their vulnerability assessment. What did they see as the top priorities at their site? And again, I'm the person up here presenting tonight, but this is a team effort. Shout out, Craig Rouse is no longer with us. He's moved on, but he was involved. Dr. McDonald was involved. Technology officer, Mr. Johnson was involved. And once again, a shout out to all of our principals as well. A number of people involved in this process. With that, we did discuss this at the October 7th DLT meeting. Principals were made aware where we're going to focus our efforts. And then as Trustee Sadoff, I appreciate the comments. On Monday, it's nice it was presented there. This is an advisory committee. They didn't take action on this, but there was a number of questions around that. And once again, that's what's great about having police present, because they were able to answer a number of questions as well. And so I bring this plan moving forward here tonight. With that, again, I wanted to make sure that everyone out there understands this is not the only funds that we spend. Currently, we spend between $800 and $1.2 million annually on safety. Such topics as, proud to say we have 3 school resource officers, 1 assigned to each high school, and then the 1 that goes in between the 2 middle schools. And again, through our relationship, they're also available to go out to elementary schools if needed. The supports that we have for our students with mental health, social emotional needs, our site repairs, our emergency response system, everything from crossing guards to our discipline techs, and then to our online cyber security program. And just yesterday, I will say that a number of us were available to go over to Folsom, and Ryan Johnson joined us there, but he left there to go to, I believe it was an FBI presentation on cybersecurity in Sacramento. So we are keeping up on our safety needs there. With that, all being said, we did break this $1.5 million down into 4 different categories. As you can see here, Category 1, focus on training, planning, and policy development. 2, physical security and emergency equipment, and this has a lot to do with those vulnerability assessments completed by that third-party expert in that area of safety. Category 3 on technology, communication, and our data infrastructure. And then just in looking at this and working with Dr. McDonald and everyone, the reality is everything costs more than anticipated. So some of these things, now the word slips my mind. Some of these assessments, what's the word as far as how much something's going to cost? Estimate, thank you very much. These estimates that Craig Rouse gave, 3 or 4 months ago when we started this, they may have changed. So instead of trying to force this in, I just thought it was smart that we hold on to some of these dollars. All these dollars will be spent on safety funds, but we want to make sure of the first 3 categories, those are paid out and taken care of and completed, and then any surplus money we will use to complete the next highest priority in the area of safety. Just to break this down quickly, in that Category 1 on training, that's going to focus on a comprehensive staff training program and documentation. That's what we went to yesterday in Folsom. And then our behavioral threat assessment team, this has already taken place at the secondary level, led by Director Davidson. She's also working with the elementary counselors now to recognize any of these behavioral type threats ahead of time. And then our student and parent reunification. We recently just worked on an MOU with William Jessup University, and our goal this year is that we do a dry run out there at William Jessup in case we ever had to evacuate a school. In the second category on physical security and emergency equipment, this goes about everything from door locks to vehicle safety at a lot of our elementary sites. Jeff Solomon recognized that parents are frequently in a rush, especially at an elementary site where you have younger kids running out. So really want to do some parking lot mitigation there, looking at possible speed bumps and actually signage to please tell people to slow down. Not only in the parking lots, but also some of our schools. We did this about 10 years ago where buildings are identified, but when you think of it in an emergency situation, our first responders, they can't look at one side of the building. They need to be able to identify the building. If they're going to, say, building D, they need to be able to see that on all sides because you never know where they'll be approaching that. And not only that, I think this is something just interesting as someone involved, in going to a lot of classrooms. If you think about it, most of the time those signs are only about an inch or 2. So if you're a first responder, responding in an emergency, you need to be able to identify that room. So classroom signage. And then we did talk extensively about some fencing. There's limited fencing that we're looking at for student safety, as well as some of these crash gates. A lot of our playgrounds have fencing around it. And since we do teach the run, hide, fight philosophy, kids need to be able, especially at those younger ages, to get out. And the crash gate is something that is a push, but there's a cover over the top of it so someone on the outside can't reach over and push it. And once again, Craig Rouse, we've already installed some of those previously. We will be looking at those that requested that item to install those. And then finally, our window tinting and blinds. Again, this is something that we've been working ongoing. You can imagine, Rain was part of our safety committee, and I asked him, I think we have around 960 classrooms, and when you think of every window there having a blind, especially at the elementary level, going up and not doing this on purpose, but yanking on that thing, sometimes they don't open, and so blinds going down, constantly repairing those blinds. In our third category on technology, communication, data infrastructure, our site phone replacement, getting these phones so they're updated and they can really handle some of these emergencies. And I want to give a shout out to Ryan Johnson for his work on this, along with the visitor management. And thank you, Trustee Sadoff, for mentioning that. Almost everywhere you go now, all the Roseville schools have this, Placer County Office of Ed, hospitals have this, and we're piloting it here. And it's just something that if you watch the news, and they talked about this yesterday, Folsom Cordova, they were able, through facial recognition, they had a stranger on their campus, and within 1 minute, they were able to identify that person and apprehend that person on that campus. So looking forward to that. And that goes right along with the exterior cameras. Again, through the leadership of the board, all of our campuses have cameras. Those cameras are getting older. Technology improves. Really looking forward to increasing all those cameras on every single campus. And as I mentioned, just the overages and the additional needs, all this money will be spent on safety. We will pay off all that, and any remaining funds will go towards the next highest priority. But I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you so much for the report. I'm also excited to see that we are moving quickly to save money, right, on some things that we voted for in consent, those cameras and the visitor recognition. I appreciate this because, of course, we want all this money, you know, used and helping our kids yesterday, right? So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I also, just to the point about what was on consent, and yes, I run into situations often where I'm checking in and using those, and just learning more about how effective that can be at the facial recognition is exciting. I wanted just to bring up one point that would be maybe good to get a little follow-up on in a future report, but a parent did mention, you know, with the unique situation on the Rocklin campus where you have two schools operating on the same site, there was an issue recently with an adult on campus and no one knew who he was. He was standing there. Turns out it was a parent from the other school. So, you know, if we are going to put these excellent things in place just on that site in particular to make sure that they are in communication and maybe have a consistent, or we try to the best of our abilities to make that as consistent as possible, I think would be great. Otherwise, I also just wanted to say that having category 1 being the training and the planning, it's not the highest ticket item on the table, but I do think in, you know, speaking with Carrie Alwai in the past and getting all of that information from her and attending these meetings in the past and working on school campuses, the training and having staff feel confident that they know what to do and that they can execute it as quickly and efficiently as possible. I'm happy to see that that's a priority at the top of the list, so thank you.
One thing I'll just add to that is the training we went to yesterday, all the material there is free. And just a shout out to some of these parents that have dealt with these tragic situations. Many of them have moved forward. Yesterday, the I Love You guys, this was from a tragedy that happened in 2006. And the reason it's called I Love You is because their daughter, while being held in a classroom, actually sent a text to the parents, I love you guys. And that's why they named their foundation. So they've made it through large sponsors, all the material, a standard protocol response, all this material is free of charge.
Yeah, so thank you for pulling this together. Thank you for prioritizing it. Always tough to spend money, but these are the right things and the right cause, and happy to support this and glad that it's moving forward and we'll execute. So thank you for all that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marty. Okay, we have information item 10.2, revised board policies and administrative regulations. Hannah Anderson.
Good evening again, Board President Price, Trustee, Superintendent Stock. The policies in item 10.2 are the second batch of board policies and administrative regulations I will bring before you related to the federal program monitoring process. The included policies are listed as information item tonight and will be brought back before trustees in November for action. At this time, I am happy to answer any questions, and additionally would like to share that any information regarding changes or questions or language related to these board policies or any other in the other batches that can be discussed either this evening or in the November board meeting would be beneficial to the FPM process and will help us make sure to meet timelines. So just a clarification from earlier, any information we can provide to the reviewers will help us, just that I can clearly communicate with them on our process as we move through this fall.
Thank you so much. Can you just give us, how did you go about making these changes? Maybe that would help us a little bit since there are so many.
Sure. So as part of the federal program monitoring process, Rocklin Unified was selected for 10 instruments. There are many more than 10 that we could have been selected for, but each district districts throughout the state of California are put on a cycle of when they might be monitored. And when your county comes available that it could be monitored, each district is reviewed, and they look, the different offices for each of the instruments at the California Department of Education look at past monitoring, and if we have had any findings in past monitoring cycles, that may make us to be quote unquote at risk in their assessment of our district. And so districts where you have had findings in the past make you more eligible to have the monitoring in the future. Also, districts who receive large sums of federal dollars, of which Rocklin Unified does not, districts might be monitored more regularly. And there's a number of other items that I can share with trustees at another time for which instruments you're monitored for. Once we know which instruments we're monitored for, then you receive a comprehensive document for each instrument that outlines which laws, federal and state laws, the reviewers will be looking for when they come to look for compliance in our district, when they come do the monitoring process. Based on those instruments, part of the review process preparing for the federal program monitoring this summer was to look at each of those instruments and identify for the district which items would be addressed through board policies or administrative regulations. As many items as we can clear through just other documents. We are providing the reviewers regular ongoing communication. For example, all of our local control and accountability plans, surveys, and meeting minutes and notes, all of those have already been provided to the reviewers. So they're looking at thousands of pieces of evidence. These board policies are just one small component of the review process, but it is a way that we are able to clear and show our compliance with state and federal laws. So to succinctly answer your question, it's looking at those instruments, identifying which items are addressed through board policies or administrative regulations, and then those are the ones that are decided upon that we would need to show compliance. At that time, then I go and look at, have there been changes or updates to the education code that would need to be reflected in our board policies, administrative regulations, and or have there been changes to those laws since we last updated those board policies, administrative regulations. Provide that comprehensive list, and then these, especially those in this batch and the next batch, are then shared amongst colleagues in education services to look through and bring before trustees for review. So looking, utilizing sample policies, but certainly looking at what was in previous board policy to the district, what have been those changes in education code, and working to align ourselves directly with what those changes have been in education code and update these policies within our district to reflect that.
Thank you for the additional information. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Okay. Thank you for your flexibility with the other policies. We'll look forward to the action items on these at our next meeting, November 19th. Thank you. Okay, we have two. Oh,
just want to make sure. I just worry about with the volume and the timeline and questions. No questions currently on the information items, or will we be able to reach out prior and then have some answers to go? I just want to stay on timeline.
What we've worked to do, because we know the volume is unusually high in a number of policies and regulations, is to provide these to trustees even prior to them being on the information item, just to give an opportunity to do all the volume of reading. These are the 2 batches. And so we wanted to make sure you had that time with a brief description of some of the changes in ed code that have driven the policy pieces. And then we bring those back as an information item to elicit further opportunity for the board to discuss them. And then, of course, anytime along the way, trustees are free to ask questions as they review and want information. And then what we do is per our practices, we'll circulate to all trustees any questions and the answers provided so that all trustees have that information. And so that's how we'll approach this. So at any time, trustees can reach out and let us know if they need additional information or clarification, and we'll be happy to provide that.
And what I appreciate about these coming as an info item now is this is really the first look for parents. So parents really prior to tonight or to the posting haven't had an opportunity to look at them, and there's some pretty lengthy ones in there, and some, I would say for some could be maybe even some sensitive subjects. So I really do recommend parents taking the time to really look through these. The intent of the info item is to have an opportunity to really look at, ask questions of trustees, of staff. So hopefully we can be ready to take a vote on November. So I appreciate the opportunity to get back information on previous ones, and I also recommend parents, the sooner we hear concerns and questions, the faster we can get responses.
Thank you. All right, we have 2 public comments for agenda item 11.1. We want to remind everyone that this agenda item is to give anyone in attendance an opportunity to address the board on non-agenda items within the jurisdiction of the school district. We are not permitted to deliberate or take action on non-agenda items, but may refer the matter to a staff member for follow-up. A complaint about a specific employee of the district shall be made to that employee's immediate supervisor or the principal as required by Administrative Regulation 1312.1. I will call your name if you'll please step up to the podium, and I will let our second person know who's on deck. When you approach the podium, please restate your name, the city you live in, and the schools that your children attend. You will have 2 minutes to address the board. All comments must be respectful. Please, no profanity. We invite first Lawson Bell to come forward to the podium, and then on deck, Bill McEnroe.
I can put this here, right? Yeah. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Lawson Bell. I actually don't live in Rocklin, but I attend McGeorge School of Law. And as part of public ed law assignment, I'm here to give public comment on a bill that recently came up, which is Assembly Bill 461, also known as the More Help, Not Less Act of 2025. So the governor signed this bill on October 1st, and this law basically repeals Penal Code 270.1, which made it a misdemeanor to have a child who's commonly truant. So without that misdemeanor offense, the 2013 Attorney General report said that the offense doesn't necessarily facilitate getting kids back into school, but there hasn't been recent data since 2013. So basically my question to the board is, in the absence of that penal code, to what extent does the district anticipate this will change the way that it responds to truancy, if at all? I'm not privy to the procedures of the board at this time, but basically just putting it on your guys' radar as something to think about, because it says that it retains the ed code for early prevention, reach out to families, but it doesn't add anything to the ed code. So basically just trying to figure out to what extent it will affect procedures here at the board. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lawson.
Superintendent Stock and President Price, I know that we cannot engage in a back and forth during public comment, but because there was a question regarding procedures of how we respond to that, is there a staff member that I can connect Mr. Bill with?
Yes, I can ask Ms. Anderson, who leads our attendance improvement efforts, to connect with him. She
Okay, thank you.
to be here tonight.
Thank you. Bill.
My name is William McEnroe, and I've lived as a resident in Rocklin since 1989. I have 2 of my granddaughters going to Whitney High. Tonight, I want to address the ongoing salary negotiations involving the Rocklin School District, the Rocklin Teachers Association. Frankly, I find the current situation perplexing. The state of California approved a 2.3 cost of living adjustment, COLA, yet the union is seeking to increase to approximately 15%. If the Rocklin teacher salary are among the lowest tiers statewide, I could better understand the demand. However, that is not the case. The Rocklin teachers are already among the highest paid educators in the region, with an average salary ranging from $75,785 to $88,504. In comparison, Rocklin or Eureka, theirs is between $65,676 to $78. San Juan's is $65,895. Roseville High School is $94,530, and the elementary is $55,455 to $64,192. Given that the Rocklin teachers earn roughly $10,000 on average, than the nearby district, I struggle to see the justifications for such a substantial increase. My wife taught at San Juan Unified School District for 25 years, and her motivation was never financial. It was her passion of teaching and helping the students reach their full potential. If an educator no longer feels that passion, there are indeed higher paid opportunities in the private sector. But would those opportunities rarely give the same fulfillment in shaping the young lives? Most teachers, I believe, choose the profession out of the desire to make a difference, not for the paycheck. I do not believe that Rocklin teachers would move to a neighboring district for less pay. However, very possible that a teacher from other districts would seek to join Rocklin for its higher compensation and strong reputation. I want to believe that the majority of our teachers are dedicated to the calling to educate, inspire, and enrich the lives of the students. It saddened me, however, to see the growing perception that the financial demands may overshadow this passion.
Thank you so much, Bill. We'll now move to item 12.1. Our board bylaws require 2 trustees to place an item on the agenda. Trustees, do you have an item to discuss for consideration on the pending agenda? Okay, seeing none, the meeting is now adjourned to closed session.